What's up, guys? It is me, Black Snake Rolling, and today I'm going to talk about the first time I got high. Now, I'm not going to tell how old I was, but it was younger than, let's say, 13. Now, the story's completely honest. Like, it's not something that I'm just going to just make up just to have a fucking video, but where I'm living now is North Carolina, and well, there's a little background story. In 2011, Missouri had a tornado hit in Joplin. We were broke, and my dad found a quick way to get there. Made money, got me, my sister, and my mother. We lived in Missouri. Stayed there for a little bit. I'm not gonna get into it. Stayed there for a little bit. Then we moved to Tulsa, Oklahoma. And my first experience of ever doing anything really bad was stealing. And I remember this very well. This is when I used to skate too. Me and a couple friends, we would leave the apartment complex that I lived at when I lived in Oklahoma. We would go to stores like Quick Trip, you know. It's like Handy Mart or Speedway or whatever the fuck you want to call it. And we used to steal monsters. I mean, I would buy them. I would buy like the four thing of it, but we would steal it we would steal them when we didn't have money. And it was always easy though. But let's talk about the first time I got high. But I'm getting to it. And then we moved from there. We got kicked out over our dog. That's another story. But I met these two guys, and I started hanging out with them. And I was young. I was in 7th grade. They weren't in school, and I'd been around weed a little bit, and I never really smoked it. But I remember we got on bikes and we left the trailer park where we lived at, and we went up going up into downtown Tulsa. Well, we didn't go that far, but we stopped at this hotel or whatever from where this dude was staying at, that he was going to California every few months to get some weed and come back and all that. He would go to California and come back, and he always had weed, really good fucking weed too. And I remember we broke into this old ragged ass house, which apparently my friend had lived in before, and that's how he knew about it. We went up in the attic, and I remember we rolled a couple blunts, and I'm not gonna say any names, but one of my other friends, he had a pipe, you know, but we smoked like 2 or 3 blunts, and just, I remember I'd never had gotten high before. I'd been around it, but I'd never gotten high, and I just remember just sitting there, because it was like a wall with a window, and I'm facing the window, and they're leaning up against the wall. And I just remember I was so high, and I just remember that I was just sitting there, and they were talking, and they were telling stories, and everything was just like, just slow motion. And I almost left my phone there, but I remember this song that I know now. Well, I've known it for a while, but this song that we were listening to, it's called The Most Ultimate Blunt Smoking Song. And I never knew about it, never heard about it. It isn't anything that you would hear unless like you like found it on your own or somebody knew it and they told you. And that became the smoking theme song for me. And I remember we had to ride back. We had to ride back to the trailer park that where we lived at. And there was a big highway. It was like trailer park. Like I said, there's trailer park. Then there's just like this highway, big highway, and there's just a bunch of stores after that. So I lived in the city, and it was like 11 o'clock, 12 o'clock, like at night, and there was just cars, and I remember I was so high that I couldn't see, like I was falling off the bike, but I knew I had to get home. I wasn't aware of anything, you know. they could have robbed me, they could have jumped me or anything. I hung out with them for a little bit, but like, you know, they could have done anything. I was so fucked up. And I remember riding down the middle of this highway, this like 6-lane highway or whatever, just, you know, just cars. And I remember I was so high that everything was blurry, and that the lights, like the head and tail lights, were just flashing by me as if I was going a million miles an hour, like I was the Flash or something. I just remember getting home. I honestly don't remember getting home. I just remember waking up, taking a shower, going to school the next day, and telling all my friends that I got high. So there's a little bit more to it than the story. You know, I didn't do no like hard drugs or nothing, but like it was that was my first weed experience. That was 2012. It's 2016. I've been smoking weed for 4 years. Yeah, got my grinder and all that shit with me. Not smoking any now. I got money, but I'm all right now. But that was my first weed experience for smoking weed, and I've had many great since then. But that's a story that I'll keep to my heart. If you guys like the video, like and subscribe, comment, you know, whatever you want me to talk about. I'll talk about anything as long as I've done it and as long as I can understand it. But if you like the video, like it, leave a subscribe, or leave a comment and subscribe if you like. And I'll see you guys later. Bye.